Great day, fam. Coach Ty here, the People's Health and Wellness Coach. And I help working professionals and entrepreneurs 30 years and above find their specific rhythm that's juggling that 9 to 5 or that business, or trying to find time to shed those extra pounds gained over the years, or trying to find that time and energy for your loved ones, for your friends, let alone yourself, by providing you with healthy habits, tips, tricks, and hacks that'll get you back into those jeans you miss wearing that's tucked away in the back of your closet. Finally enjoy and love looking at yourself in the mirror again. Take that vacay you've been planning for months, even years now, and truly and honestly be present with time and energy for yourself, for your loved ones, for your friends, and for those things you loved doing the most, but have been putting off for some time now, with your new and improved, better balanced body. Yo, 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 fam. I hope you guys are ready for another episode with Miss Nedra Glover Tawab's the Set Boundary Workbook. Let's go ahead and get our notebooks, our pens, our journals, pencils, whatever you usually do to jot down your thoughts and these exercises and experiences while going through this video. And again, don't forget to share, like, subscribe, especially if you feel like something on your heart that this can either help yourself or help someone you know. Go ahead and send it that way. And you guys have that conversation. I like to be that conversation starter. Let's get these conversations going about true health and wellness. Your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, your inner health, mind, body, and spirit. It's all together, guys. All right. You guys should have your journals and your notebooks and your pens or pencils right now. So let's go ahead and dive into chapter 8, which is titled How Your Childhood Impacts Your Adult Boundaries. She says childhood and adult trauma impact the way we perceive and engage in the world around us. Types of trauma can range from sexual abuse to witnessing a car accident. Indications of trauma are evident in how people respond. For example, the adult child of an alcoholic may fear driving because they frequently rode in a car with a drunk parent behind the wheel. Self-assessment. What type of trauma have you experienced? Please check each box that applies. She has emotional abuse. She has a box for neglect, physical or emotional, or you can put and. She has a box for bullying, sexual abuse, sexual assault, or rape, having an absent parent, physical abuse or physical violence, death of a loved one, pregnancy loss, verbal abuse, car accident, infertility, raised by caregivers who abuse substances, death of a friend, near-death experience, a difficult breakup, chronic health issues, or witnessed a violent or an abusive event. So these are the ones that I checked. You guys go ahead and check the ones that you've experienced, the trauma that you've experienced in your life. I checked emotional abuse, neglect. I put physical and I wrote over or. I put and emotional. Having an absent parent, physical abuse or physical violence, death of a loved one, verbal abuse, car accident, raised by caregivers who abuse substances, death of a friend, near-death experience, chronic health issues, and witnessed a violent or an abusive event. The next section, childhood trauma. Adults live with the scars of childhood trauma. And in many cases, it affects how we engage in relationships. It may also affect our attachments with the people and things in our lives. Adults carry the following from childhood, and she has a list here. Engaging in unhealthy relationships, self-sabotage, low self-esteem, addiction, codependency, unhealthy boundaries, perfectionism, emotional unavailability, guilt when caring for self, guilt for healing. Saying no and setting expectations is especially demanding for us when it wasn't taught or honored in our childhood. I'll say that again. Saying no and setting expectations is especially demanding for us when it wasn't taught or honored in our childhood. This next section says, let's explore your story. Do you remember your early boundaries? Go ahead and list it out. So I had no early boundaries as far as it relates to childhood. But I do remember when I first started setting boundaries, and that was when I first started therapy counseling, which was at the Equestrian Therapy Farm, and that's now in Kannapolis, North Carolina. Shout out to Triple Play Farm and Chris, the owner of Triple Play Farm in Kannapolis, North Carolina, and Chris, which the second Chris, which was my therapist. Thank you guys so much, to you and your family and the farm, the animals. It was so great experience. Shout out to Triple Play Farm. The website is www.tripleplayfarm.com. Again, that's www.tripleplayfarm.com. If you're in North Carolina and you want some therapy and you want to see how horses can really, really show you who you are inside, I'm telling you, it was the truth. Thank you, guys. Who was the first person or persons to honor one of your boundaries? Again, I put both Chris's at Triple Play Farm. My best friend, it's really like my sister. She's my older sister. Rhonda, my aunt Regina, and my blessing, my son. What was the boundary? For me to be my authentic, vulnerable self without judgment. And even when I spoke negative about my emotions, they stopped me and said it's okay, or they hugged me to let me know that it was okay to be emotional or cry. Because I wasn't big in crying. Just I used to think it was such a weak thing. I was just kind of what I was taught, society, family, yeah. Just things that, ways you come up. You don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And even in my adult years, I'm struggling with that, but I'm working on it. God is working on me, so I'm doing better with it, but it's still a little struggle. It's okay. It's okay to cry, guys. Whether you're a man or a woman, boy or girl, it is okay to cry. It is okay to be emotional. We are human beings, by the way. So we're innately emotional, whether we want to embrace those or go with those or not. It's literally in us. It's in our DNA. We're literally made to be emotional creatures. How you use that emotion or how you react to that emotion is the question. It's the deal breaker too sometimes, or the deal maker. Depends on how you use it, positive or negative. Who was the first person to dishonor your boundary? I put my biological father. What was the boundary? I put, you can't pick me up off the shelf and put me back on the shelf to make yourself feel good or better whenever you want to. You're either really in my life and willing to truly love me without trying to control me, manipulate me, abuse me, whether mentally, verbally, emotional, physically, or any other Lee. Or you can just continue to stay where you at and stay out of my life like you already have been anyway. So that was mine. She says, pause. Before moving on to the next exercise, take a break from the work you need to, if you need to, and return to it when you feel centered. If you feel comfortable moving forward, take a few moments to breathe before continuing. And in this section, it was a little hard. It was difficult. I'm not going to lie. Every chapter gets harder and harder. It gets deeper and deeper, which is a good thing. It's growth. It's healing. It's working on the inside. So it's a deep thing. It's good to take maybe 4 to 5 deep breaths. Inhalation through your mouth. Through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Hold. Out through your mouth. In for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 4. Out to a count of 6. Again, inhale through your nose to a count of 4. Hold on a count of 4. And exhale through your mouth to a count of 6. Let's do this again. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. One last time. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. All right. The next exercise. When I was a child, this would have been a helpful boundary. Just focus on being a child or kid and leave the adulting to me as your parents. You just be okay with loving yourself and valuing yourself as your authentic self. Embrace being a child and leave the adult/parent stuff to me. I felt heard and seen by the following people. Both sets of my grandparents. Thanks. Shout out to my grandparents. Of both sets, there's only one remaining, but rest in paradise to my papa, my nana, and my granddad. Thank you, Grandma, for still holding it strong, holding the fort down, and still putting up with all of us and loving us still and being patient with us. So both sets of my grandparents, my aunt Regina, my best friend, older sister Rhonda, Grandma Fight, rest in paradise, which is my son's great grandmother. My blessing, my son. I call him my blessing because he is truly my blessing, I promise you. As far as when I was younger, all of these people still impact me, or they impacted me, and they still impact me and hear me and see me, even to this day. And even for those who have transitioned over to paradise, they still impact me. I wanted to be seen by these people. And the reason why I paused and inhaled and exhaled deeply is because sometimes you have to remember to calm yourself internally. And so what I've learned through the breath and meditation work that I continuously do with this veteran group I belong to. And whenever you get anxious or sometimes depressed or your emotions are just everywhere, you have to still yourself and calm yourself and just inhale through your nose, hold it, and release through your mouth. And purse your lips kind of like there's a straw in your mouth and just again, we're going to go into 4, hold for 4, and out for 6. But make sure to purse your lips like you have a straw in your mouth. Do that for 4 to 5 times, even up to 10 times. It just depends on the situation and how anxious you are and how your emotions are going everywhere. But yeah, those are some of the tools that I've learned amongst others in my breath and meditation class and counseling, therapy, AA, all the other therapies and counselings that I've done that have helped me become a better version of me and the person that I am to this day, and the person that I will continue to grow to be, because growth is life to me. You have to continue to want to have that yearning, to have that feeling to evolve and grow into and evolve into a better version of yourself. You have to continue to die to yourself daily, honestly, like the Bible says, but it's true. Because the old you, it might have been good for a season, for a time, but then you start to get in different scenarios and different rooms and start to see how the growing people do and how they move in. It's like, man, I would love to capture that, but I don't know how. So you just start doing the work, whether it's YouTube, whether it's books, whether it's conferences. God, of course, first, Allah, whatever you call him, your source. To me, it's God. He is God. He is my source. He is the head of my life. But you need to find some grounding source and then continue to do the work. Like I said, whether it's classes, courses, conferences, books, YouTube, me, I do them all. I do it all. So, but this next one, she says, I wanted to be seen by these people. I just simply put my parents, especially as a child. This next one, I recall my caregivers having the following rules for me. Know how to act when you're outside the house. Don't touch nothing when we get inside the store you can't pay for. Don't embarrass me. I remember having the following boundaries for myself. Now, I'm just talking as a child, of course, because this is what I assume she's talking about. Make sure to do my homework. Make sure to study and get your education so that you can get out of here. Make sure to do the opposite of the pain you endured. Be a better you. To be a better you for whoever them are and will be. Soak up all the good stuff and the great teachings that you've been getting from your grandparents and other people that God has put into my path at that time and he's continually doing. Soak up all the good stuff. And figure out how to tweak that to you so that you can continue to be your authentic self. Soak up all the good stuff, all the great stuff, all the things that'll help you grow into blossoming, going from that caterpillar to that beautiful butterfly, and you making sure to you stay true to you and your authentic self and who God created you to be. The next one is, if I said no in my house, the following happened. I put LOL. Only the adults can say no. If you a child, you better stay in the child's place. From the South, so now you don't get the right to say no. Not when I was growing up. It's a little different now, but she says, I wish my caregivers would have taught me this. I put everything, pretty much everything my grandparents taught me. But I really and truly praise and thank God for my grandparents because they gave me exactly what I needed when I needed it, even though I didn't know that I would still be using it until this very day. Even now in my adulthood, I still use the tools and the tips and the things that they taught me. I still do to this day. Thank you, God, for them. And honestly, even thank you to my parents for having me because you could have chosen not to, Mom. Because without you, I wouldn't know the family that I know the grandparents that I know. And ultimately, even though you did what you knew to do, you loved me enough to allow me and allow my grandparents to raise me. And I truly do appreciate you for that. Truly do appreciate you for that. And you allowed them to be in my life and instill in me what they did, what my grandparents did. And I'm still able to use it again to this day. The next item says, I think adults should honor the following boundaries with children. Never, ever, ever abuse children, no matter physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, verbally, sexually, and every otherly that's a negative connotation. Yes, you can discipline them all day. You can discipline your children in a positive and growing, in a pruning way, in a way that you prune a tree so that it can grow. You know, when branches get all out of whack, we got to go and prune the trees, or landscaper prunes, they landscape the grass so it can grow beautifully, so the tree can blossom into what it's supposed to blossom into. So that's why you would prune it, not to be mean or hateful, but so that it can grow into the beautiful bush or tree that it's meant to be. In order to pour in to them so that they grow to be great, better versions of themselves. Nurture and cultivate growth, positivity, integrity, loving and kindness, kingdom living, loving and embracing their authentic selves. Honor them for being children and protect their innocence at all costs. I repeat, protect their innocence and value them at all cost. And that's what I put. Affirmation. I will no longer use the excuse my parents never taught me as a reason to not do better. I can teach myself by reading, by being open to learning, by being curious, and by connecting to healthy people. Yes, by connecting to healthy people. I can find support through mentors, role models, elders, and mental health professionals. I can learn things that I was never taught, including how to be in a healthy or in healthy relationships of all kinds, how to feel, how to care for myself, how to be assertive, and how to deal with problems in a healthy way. This next section says, understanding what you need from others. When you share your experience from a traumatic event, Compassionate support can facilitate your healing. Let's practice ways of asking for what you need. Brainstorm a few ways to ask for support and try to be specific about what works for you. She gives an example. When I cry, please rub my back and tell me everything will be okay. So here's one of my examples. When I cry, just allow me to get it off my chest. And don't judge me or tell me to dry my tears because it makes you uncomfortable. Don't tell me to stop because it's making you uncomfortable. Just allow me to get it out. Allow me to brace my emotions, feel my emotions, and get it out. That's it. My next one is when I clearly say I'm not going to, or I don't want to, ... Don't you turn around and because you would do it, or you would want to do it, you try to talk me into accepting, wanting, or going to said person, place, or things. No more manipulation. Whether you know you're doing it or not. I'm no longer interested in that. So she has the circle of what you need. In the middle, it says, what I need from others. And then she has 2, 4, 6, 8 circles surrounding that. Yeah. So in my 8 circles, 1, I put understanding and real love. The second one, I put grace, mercy, and kindness. The third bubble, I put integrity. The fourth one is listen without judgment. The fifth one is honesty. The sixth one is consistency. The seventh is stop being only takers or selfish. The eighth one is trustworthiness. And if I were to add a ninth one, it would definitely be transparency. #transparency. But seriously though, transparency. Whew. It's so dope, actually. It's a good thing. Guilt. A normal but not always helpful response to trauma is guilt. The kind of guilt that may cause you to feel bad about yourself or sometimes do unhealthy things because of guilt. Real guilt, you did something wrong. False guilt, you believe you did something wrong, but you really didn't. To wash your hands of guilt that isn't yours to carry, complete the following statements. When blank happened, comma, it was not my fault. So I put, when my biological father decided to be absent, and still is, it wasn't nor is it my fault. When I felt unchosen and unloved by my parents or those that were close to me in my life, it was not my fault. When I was neglected, it was not my fault. Let that breathe for a second. And I really want you guys to feel these exercises out, go through these, and really, really be transparent about your feelings and what you're going through and how you feel about everything and what's resonating inside of you. And write that down as well. Write the date, write the time, and what you're feeling at that very moment. I do it I do it so that I can go back to it and just remember it and see where am I at now. It's definitely worth it. She says, remember this. You can feel guilty when you aren't doing anything wrong. Guilt may be a part of your conditioning. You can unlearn the belief that everything is your fault or that you have done something harmful to others. The way to feel less guilty is to practice placing boundaries within yourself and with others. Do the work until it feels normal and habitual for you. The guilt will subside as you retrain your brain not to blame yourself for what others feel or experience. I'm going to repeat that for the people in the back and for myself. The guilt will subside as you retrain your brain not to blame yourself for what others feel or experience. That's a word right there. Next section says, you can say no. A 2-year-old, man, this is so true. A 2-year-old's favorite word is no. Is no. I hate it when my son said no. But like, man, what? Get over here. No, I don't want to do this. But that's true. That's their favorite word. And they say it with conviction because they feel entitled not to like, want, or be something that doesn't feel right. Think about that. How does a 2-year-old know that? It's because maybe we innately have that too. It's just as we got older and even as we were a child, we kept getting told, don't say no, don't say no. You just do this, you just do that. People please, put on a show, fake it till you make it, do all these other cliches and these things that have us torn up on the inside, crumbling on the inside, while we faking it and smiling and samboing on the outside. Come on, guys, let's be real. Mental health matters. Just like Black Lives Matter. Mental health matters too. And it's a real thing. Whether we want to keep trying to fake it and act like the elephant is not in the room, mental health is a real thing. And it's time for us, especially our community, the Black and brown people of the world, all of us. We need to be honest about this thing and really start opening it up that can and say, listen, man, get that help. Get that mental health going. Get that help. Get that counseling. Get those groupings. Whatever you need, those sessions, better help. A counselor that you know, somebody that somebody referred you to. Get the help that you need because mental health is real, y'all. It's no joke. And I stand behind it 100% because it has impacted my life in such a tremendous way. And I appreciate every single counselor, therapist, coach that I've had and still have to this day. Thank you guys. You have really helped my life and changed my life and grown my life. And I appreciate all of you. Everybody in the health practitioner space, in the health and wellness space. You guys, we need you. Thank you. But a 2-year-old knows how to say no. This is the thing that I highlighted. You can tap into your inner 2-year-old and boldly reclaim your ability to say no with the belief that you are entitled to it. I'm going to say that again. You can tap into your inner 2-year-old and boldly reclaim your ability to say no with the belief that you are entitled to it. Come on, y'all. Say no. If you don't want to do something, if you don't want to go somewhere, if you just want to sit by yourself and just relax, chill, watch a movie, Netflix and chill, you want to eat some ice cream, cake. Listen, I know I'm a health and wellness coach, but sometimes it's okay to have a little sweets now. If you want to just chill and draw you a bubble bath, have a glass of wine, it's okay. Don't always have to be in the hustle and bustle and doing what everybody else wants you to do. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? What is it that you really want? What is it that you really need? And you're longing for, and you know it because you feel it in your heart, in your mind. Your body is feeling it. Your body is telling you, but your body is only showing you and breaking down for you sometimes because you already knew months ago or years ago that you needed a break. I'm talking to myself right now, stepping on my own toes. But then it starts to come out in your body. You have to say no. Say yes to self-love. Say yes to self-care. Say yes to yourself. Say yes to being your authentic self. Pull that mask off and be who you are. If you're silly and goofy and joyful, be that person. Stop conforming to what everybody else wants you to conform to. Whether it's your family, whether it's friends, whether it's your coworkers, whether it's your boss, whether it's if you're a business owner, if you think your people are looking at you to be this, get out that box, break and shatter that box. I'm tired of this box that we're supposed to be in. We're human. We're not meant to be in no box. In the words of E.T. at Phenomenal Life 2022, which was phenomenal. Our creator created us to be creators by default. Hold up. Let me rewind that. Our creator created us to be creators by default. Get out that box. What is it that's on your heart that you really want to do? What's your purpose? What is it? What are you here for? Ask yourself, God, what am I here for? What am I supposed to be doing on this? How am I supposed to be impacting people around me? It doesn't always have to be millions of people, but what about the lives of the people that live with you? What about the people that you encounter every single day or talk on the phone with, a text with every day? What is your purpose? How are you supposed to change the world in some kind of way? And I don't mean the whole world. I'm talking about your world. Get out that box. Be your authentic self. Find out what that thing is and chase after that thing. Because I promise, you chase out the purpose. Listen, stop chasing out the money. I get it. We got bills to pay. We got things to do. Chase after your purpose, and that money gonna chase you. Promise you. But first, get out that box. Who is it that you really are inside? Be that person. Stop worrying about what people think or what people feel or what are they gonna feel, what are they gonna say, or what are they gonna do. If the pandemic ain't taught us nothing else, we don't have time, y'all. We just don't. We don't have the time that we think we have. And the fact that we think that we do, that's ego, guys. That is ego all day. Get out of that. We don't have the time. We don't have time to worry about every single person, everything. What are you going to think? I don't have time for that. I'm trying to make change. I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to build people. I'm trying to encourage people. I'm trying to motivate people. I'm trying to inspire people. I'm trying to impact people. That's me. That's me. That's Coach Ty. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm doing. I don't have time to worry about if I do. We don't know how much time we got on this earth, guys. Let's be honest. So stop being so focused on what everybody else thinking and what everybody else do or what they're going to say or how they're going to outcast you or da-da-da-da-da. Start focusing on what is it that I'm supposed to be doing with my life and how do I move forward with doing that thing or those things? Because a lot of times there's more than one. Start with one, focus on that thing, master that thing, boom, 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 package that thing up, get it, and then go to the next thing. Sometimes you can do multiple. Sometimes you can only focus on one. But what is that first thing? Find that thing out. Chase after that thing. It's going to be well worth it, I promise you. Even on those days you don't feel like it. Because there are days when there's days I don't feel like working out. But guess what I do? I still go work out. I got a love-hate relationship thing going on with working out. But I love it. I love it because it helps me. One, it helps me get the stress out. Two, it honestly does like open up a different part of your brain so you can think. It gets that fog out. A lot of times, man, I get in that creative flow, that creative rhythm when I'm working out or when I'm out in nature, when I'm walking, when I'm hiking, listen, exercise is more than about looking good in the mirror and flexing. Moving your body, movement, true health and wellness is way more about that. It's way deeper than that. That's surface level. That's surface level. If that's what you're doing it for, hey, go for it. No judgment over here. But there's so many more benefits to being healthy, working out, moving your body. Like I said, clarity, clarification on some things, creativity opens up, increases. You get more laser focused, get some of the stress off of you. So many different benefits. But anyway, we're going to continue. When was the last time someone told you no? 2 days ago. Yeah. My baby told me no. I was like, what? I'm cool with it though. Not about no crazy stuff. Don't let your mind go crazy. What have you recently said no to? To feeling guilty about the hurt from my past and allowing those feelings to paralyze me and try to stop me from completing this workbook and recording these chapters, the rest of these chapters for my podcast. Straight up honest. Even yesterday, even this morning before it was on me, guys. I had to shake that thing. I said, nah, you're not going to win. You've been winning long enough, guilt. You've been winning long enough, feelings of inadequacy. You've been winning long enough, fear of abandonment. You've been living long enough, fear of rejection. Nah, I'm done with you. I got to continue to move and do what I'm supposed to do, what I'm purposed to do. So you see me now, recording chapter 8. Sometimes you got to tell that thought, that feeling, shut up, sit down. Hey, be humble. Hey, sit down. Oh, anyway. But because I know this is not just going to help and heal me and grow me, but it's also going to heal, help, encourage, strengthen, inspire, and motivate somebody else and help them break from their bondage or hurt and the lies of their past because of my continued transparency. How did it feel? How did it make you feel at the time? It made me feel uncomfortable. Honestly and transparently, it even made me shed some tears because it hurt so much. It was so very uncomfortable. And the guilt of being so open and transparent in this book and on my podcast, Coach Ty's Corner, and the possibility of some folks' reactions, experience, and feelings that are family or folks that may be a part of my life or were a part of my life at a time, and they're possibly written about in this book, how they'll feel, experience, and react to me or about this. Also feeling a little anxious. But the show must go on. But to God be the glory. A lot of times in our lives, and this is a little extra that I put, a lot of times in our lives, in order to grow, we must be uncomfortable. But we must learn to be uncomfortable and jump and do it anyway. Our best growth, if we really think about it, spawns from our greatest states of uncomfortability. If you really think about it, Our greatest growth, our greatest triumphs were birthed in uncomfortableness. Let that marinate. How do you feel about it now? Honestly, still a little anxious and uncomfortable, but not as much as I did the day before, the days leading up to, and this morning, earlier this morning, this chapter and this recording. But right now, and even minutes before, I felt relief. I felt relief. I'm so okay with being uncomfortable and doing it anyway. It's just me. Why did you say no? Because not only is this workbook and book helping and growing me and healing me, on top of my other personal and professional development, growth, and counseling that I've taken and done and still doing, I also know that this is going to help grow, heal, set free, break the chains of bondage, and break generational strongholds off of other people and families. So I'm just going to walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. That's my thing. I'm strong in walking it like I talk it. That's what I do. Ways to say no now. Here's one that I put. I appreciate the offer, but no thank you. I don't want to ... or I don't want to go to ... Another one I put was no thank you. I'm deciding to stay in and get some rest and give myself some self-love or self-care instead of coming out with you guys or coming to the event. But I do hope you guys have fun and enjoy. Exercise, trauma, and boundaries. When I was younger, I responded to my trauma in the following ways. The first one I put, anger and aggression was my first response to trauma when I was younger. The second one, I would be cold, short, and I would pull back and shut down when I was younger. The next one is, as an adult, I respond to my trauma in the following ways. One, I tried my best to see all sides of all parties involved. Two, I try to break down why someone did or said what they said. In my head, I'm trying to figure it out. I wonder why they did that. Was it something that I said that made them react that way? Was it the way I said it? Was it my presentation? What was it? So I'll try to do that. 3, I try and discuss the situation with open-minded parties. And if it gets heated, I say, let's take a break, let's take a breather, and we can revisit this when our heads are calmer and cooler and we're more open. Number 4, I journal, unplug, and get peace and listen to music or listen to meditation sounds and rain or whatever I got to do to kind of calm myself and clear my head. Most definitely do my breath and meditation work. Number 5, I go to counseling, exercise, go to the gym, go hiking, go for a drive, etc. She says, gather yourself. Using the blank bullet points below, create your own affirming statements. We know what she say when she say gather yourself. We at the end, guys. I know these chapters getting deeper and deeper, aren't they? So these are some of the affirmations she came up with. But after these, after the list that she puts here, make sure to create your own affirming statements. She says, I can teach myself what I wish my parents would have taught me. The next one, I forgive myself for blaming myself when things weren't my fault. The next one, I recognize that some people won't apologize or recognize what they did as wrong. The next one, I can be for myself what I need from others. So true. The next one, I can't forget what happened, but I can learn to cope with what happened. The next one, I am not alone. That is so, so true. I promise you, you're not. I promise you, you're not alone. The next one, I can create a healthy life. The last one that she has, I don't have to repeat the cycle. Yes, I do not have to repeat the cycle. That is so true. So a couple of ones that I listed was I can continue creating and modifying healthy boundaries in my life for myself and others. The next one I put was setting healthy boundaries is not a bad thing. It's actually truly valuing and honoring yourself and your relationships of all types. The next one, it's totally okay to choose me. The next one I put was it's okay. I shouldn't and no longer have to feel guilty when I don't want to do something or go somewhere that I don't want to. The last one that I put is I don't have to continue to feel guilty about wanting more and embracing an abundant life, an abundant lifestyle. All right, guys. It's chapter 8 of the Set Boundaries Workbook. You know it. Get on down in those comments and drop how you feel, what's going through with your mind going through, what's your body going through. What different types of emotions are you feeling while going through this chapter? What can I help you with? What is your questions? How can I be of service to you? How can I help you through these chapters and helping you through and holding your hand through setting healthy boundaries yourself in your life and in the lives of others around you? I'm here, guys. Coach Ty is here. Put in those comments how you really feel, what's going on in your head. What are the reactions of some of the people that when you are setting these boundaries, whatever they are, especially if they're negative, don't let it get to you. And you continue to set healthy boundaries for yourself first, and then for the people who you have to be with or around on a day-to-day basis, so that they can see what it looks like to live and to set healthy boundaries and to stick to them. Because whether we believe it or not, there are some people looking up to us, whether it's our kids, whether it's family members, friends, coworkers, but you never know. You never know who's watching. So be that inspiration in the world that you wish you had in your life coming up as a child, or you wish you had in your life now. Be that impact, be that change, be that inspiration for someone else, be that motivation for someone else. Show them how it is to set healthy boundaries. True health and wellness, guys. True health and wellness. So this was another great deep chapter. Thank you, Ms. Nedra. And like I said, don't forget to share, like, subscribe, sit with this thing, write, journal, get off your chest how you have to get it off your chest. But let's try to be that change in the world. Let's try to embrace and impact our lives and the lives of the people around us in a positive way by setting those healthy boundaries, by setting those healthy boundaries and sticking to them, by understanding that by doing these things, you're actually truly valuing and honoring yourself. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. All right, guys. Coach Ty here. Remember, health and wellness is a lifestyle. It's not just a diet. I continue to put much more peace, blessings, grace, and mercy out in the world and your way. But remember to continue to fill your cup, even if nobody else is. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good week. And I'll see you guys for that next chapter. Take care.